Hello, my name is Rachel, and I'm with Brain Injury Canada. I'm joined by Tyler Stemmler, founder of Skate for the Brain. Hi, Tyler. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, I wanted to first ask you, before we get into what Skate for the Brain is, your personal experience with brain injury. Can you share your story with us?
Sure. When I was 9 years old, I was hit by a car. I was apparently playing on the side of the road. I was apparently wrestling with a friend. Um, the driver sped up to scare us, and he ended up hitting me. I flew into oncoming traffic and slid underneath of another car, sustaining four skull fractures, a catastrophic brain injury. I was in coma for a month, and I was paralyzed for about a year. I went through 15 plus years of rehab therapy, speech pathology, occupational therapy, all kinds of testing. You name it, I've been through it. When I was 11 years old, once I started walking again independently, um, I grew an interest to skateboarding because skateboarding to me gave people the freedom and doing whatever they wanted to do with that board. I really never had freedom at that point in time in life. Um, I spent most of my time inside uh, at a desk with therapists, my speech pathology, doing all kinds of work, or going to doctors. So freedom and independence wasn't something I really had, and skateboarding introduced a lot of that to me. So because of those factors, I think is what drawn me to skateboarding, and um, now I do skate for the brain.
Great. So, you were about 11. Can you describe for me the process of becoming familiar with skateboarding and how skateboarding became such a huge part of your life?
I what so I skateboarding was introduced to me when I was playing at my cousin's house on his Sony PlayStation, playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. Um, Playing those games showed me that like you are in control of the skateboard, and it's actually the real sport. People can actually do these things, and maybe not the things that are in the video game, but realistically, a lot of the maneuvers and tricks are capable are possible to do. And again, the whole independence and creativity part of it drawn me to it. That's how I was introduced to skateboarding, and ever since then, I begged my mom to get me a skateboard and a helmet, and we went to Walmart one day and got a skateboard and a helmet, and I spent every single day in front of the house on my skateboard and trying all of that, and it's taken a very long time. It's skateboarding is very much like life. You're not going to get the tricks all at once. You're not going to. There's a lot of bumps on the road, but once you do get it, and once you do land those tricks, the feeling of success is totally worth all those falls and bails and fails you had during in life. Um, yeah,
That's a great way to look at it. I never thought about that correlation between, getting up, getting down, and like picking yourself back up.
it's. I think it's a bit. I think skateboarding has taught me a lot to be resilient in life because in skateboarding you can't just give up the first time. You're always saying to yourself, one more time. And with a brain injury, you're always going to get stuck on a speed bump or somewhere in life that's going to stop you, and you can't stop. You got to push yourself forwards. So that's why another reason what I think skateboarding has really helped me during my rehabilitation is it's taught me to be resilient. It's taught me to never give up, and it's taught me to always push forwards.
Hmm. Did you find that when you took up skateboarding and you were doing it so consistently, that it helped you when it came to other forms of rehabilitation or appointments with your therapists?
Oh, of course, it taught me. It taught me how to deal with my emotions and in a creative way. It my life was I grew up in a broken family, so I had a lot of other emotional distractions around me that made it really hard to deal with having a catastrophic brain injury, and skateboarding really helped me deal with all my emotions and and all that in a healthy creative way, and something and being hit by a car, my body being so stiff and being so sore from the accident, it really gave me a very fun way to stay active and to stay active. Yeah, active.
Great. And so you've mentioned, and I've mentioned, Skate for the Brain. Can you tell us a little bit about what this organization is?
So throughout my rehabilitation, I've said to many therapists that I've always wanted to help brain injury survivors or tell people that things aren't impossible, and if you keep pushing in life, you can do it. I also have always told myself that I didn't want to do um, these these jobs that didn't mean anything much to me. So, and I've always wanted to do something that meant a lot to me. So in 2015, I came up with the idea of Skate for the Brain. It was just going to be a local skateboarding competition in Brantford, Ontario, and all participants must wear a helmet. All proceeds of this event will go to the Ontario Brain Injury Association, so they can further help brain injury survivors as well as their family. Um, and in 2016, on August 27th, I believe, is when I had the first Skate for the Brain skateboard competition at the Brantford Skate Park beside the casino, and I raised $1,600. There's a lot of people that came. I'd say about almost 100 people. Everybody learned a lot about brain injuries. I had a few brain injury survivors from the local area come down and share their stories and make it and talk to people about what they've been through and what they go through with living with a brain injury. And now a lot of people that know me or see me, that they know that, and they've learned a lot more about brain injuries, and they've learned that people with a brain injury or any kind of disability, they're they're not weak. They're stronger than most people, and I think I helped make people see that.
That's great. I really like what you said about, it was a very visual way to demonstrate the strength of the brain injury community.
Yep.
So when you talked to the other survivors that came to the event, did you talk to them about what they were going through and how maybe you could help or how your stories could help inspire each other?
Yep. I've spoken to them prior to the events or prior to the one event of that year, and we spoke. I spoke to them, went out for a coffee with them, spoke to them about if they can put together a short speech um, and that. But then they ended up telling me that what I'm doing is very inspiring to them and helps them to push forward and helps them to feel that they're not alone, and that um, it gives them a light on themselves to not feel to make them feel like they're not in the dark.
Absolutely. And so Skate for the Brain, you've turned it from an event into a non-for-profit organization. Do you have other events that you're hoping to do once the COVID-19 pandemic passes, or are you trying to come up with virtual ways to connect people? What are your plans?
So over, I'm going to step back a little bit and run over my years of event. My first year was in Brantford, and we raised the $1,600. The second year was in Brantford again, and we raised $2,238. The third year, and it ended up raining a bit, but we still raised $1,600, or just over $1,600. I think the third year is what really did it for me. What really helped me show our resilience. Because the event, just because it rained, I didn't cancel the event. I'm not a person to quit. I'm not a person to back down. I always push forward. And I think people seen that in the companies, the sponsorships, and the sponsors seen that, and word got out. And for the fourth year, I was donated the use of the world's largest non-for-profit indoor skate park in Mississauga, Ontario. And through that, I was able to secure every sponsorship from every single skateboard distribution company in all of Canada, plus 20 other sponsors. With that, I got advice to register Skate for the Brain as a federally registered non-for-profit organization. and so last year was the Mississauga event at CJ's, is what the skate park is called. This year I was supposed to have two events. My first year ever having multiple events. One was going to be in Toronto or Scarborough at the Skate Loft skate park, and the other one was going to be at CJ's in Mississauga again. Um, but because of COVID, I had to cancel those. Um, but I don't, like, again, I don't let things stop me or stop me from pushing forwards. So I still had a box of donations I got from Vans Canada, Vans skateboard, Vans shoes. And I did a virtual skateboard competition online for 30 days straight. So every single day, there was a challenge people had to do by wearing a helmet, showing me a video of them completing whatever task I asked them to do. But they had to wear a helmet. They submitted it within 48 hours, and then I always picked out prizes out or products out of the Vans box and mailed it out to them and whoever won it. Through that, I have got in contact with Skateboard Canada. They're the organization that works with the Olympics and helps organize the skateboarding competition with the Olympics, because this was supposed to be the first year skateboarding was ever going to be in the Olympics.
Wow.
And I was invited out to the skateboard qualifier, national qualifiers in Toronto for the Olympics to help raise brain injury awareness and to do a concussion safety session with all the participants of the competition. So I'm still pushing myself forwards and trying to grow everything. Just because COVID is happening, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue raising brain injury awareness, because I was given a 3% chance of living and I'm still here. So I want people to believe that they can do it too. Sorry, I get emotional sometimes.
Of course. No, that's amazing.
And so COVID. We're waiting on clearance to hear whenever we can have the qualifiers for the skateboarding at the Olympics, and then I'll be attending that and doing more brain injury awareness sessions and concussion sessions with at the Olympics not at the Olympics, but at the qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
On the side of all of this, I've also started a skateboard company called Push Skateboard Company. It's all about pushing yourself it's all about pushing yourself to get to be successful. I think it all starts with a push, and success follows. All my sales of my products go to the 15% of all the sales from all the products go to raising brain injury awareness, and they're donated to the Ontario Brain Injury Association.
That's great. So I'd like to go back to something you said about doing a concussion safety talk at the Olympic qualifiers.
Yep.
When you do talk about, wearing your helmet, concussion safety, do you find a lot of people are surprised or don't know how prevalent a concussion or brain injury can be?
Oh, I definitely think so. I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with how serious one knock to the head can really be. I'm sure, and I really think that it's important for a young person like myself to support this, because as we know through as we see, the youth don't like to wear helmets. They don't think it's cool. And I want to make it cool. I wanted to make be protecting yourself is a good thing and a cool thing, and I want people to realize that it only takes 60 G's of force to have a concuss to the brain. Repetitive concussions to your brain can cause killer proteins to your brain, releasing your brain, and which can cause negative thoughts and a whole circle of negativity. So I think it's really important to be aware of how simple a small knock to the head can really do to your life and to your brain. And
Absolutely. I'm continuously amazed how few people, myself included before I joined Brain Injury Canada, how few of us knew exactly how prevalent brain injury was and the many ways that you could get it. So
yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that education is such a big part of your mission. And the final thing that I wanted to ask you today was, do you have any advice for Canadians living with brain injury?
uh, don't stop pushing forwards. Be the best you can be. Um, don't let anybody tell you can't do it. Um, and just never give up. Um, there's always going to be bumps in life, but once you get over it, for every up there's a down, and for every down there's an up. So either way you look at it, it's gonna come back up, and it's always important to stay positive and look at every negative as a positive.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tyler.
Thank you very much for having me.
And for more information about brain injury in Canada, visit www.braininjurycanada.ca.